Our uplands are home to the smallest and one of our rarest birds of prey in Ireland, which is the merlin. Merlin once nested on the ground in deep heather, but largely due to changes in our uplands, merlin now typically nest in trees, often at the edge of forest plantation. Or also in Connemara, merlin nest on the densely wooded islands on the many lakes scattered across the bog. In these areas, merlin can be incredibly difficult to find, and this can present a real challenge from a conservation perspective, and it's the reason why we have such a poor understanding of merlin populations in Ireland. So this is the first time that we're using a drone with thermal sensor to help detect breeding merlin. Merlin often nest in mature forest plantation, so forest which is within the age range for felling, for clear felling, for forest management activities. And obviously if that occurs where merlin are nesting, that can cause disturbance. So if we have better means of locating merlin nest sites, then it means that we're better capable of ensuring that those nest sites are protected. So this drone is the DJI Matrice 300, and the payload, which is here, is the H20T camera, T for thermal. So incredible spec on this. The drone is provided by Survey Drones Ireland, and these survey trials to assess the effectiveness of the drone and thermal camera to detect breeding merlin is funded by Quilcha. We can take two approaches. We can fly the drone over the survey area manually, looking for a heat signal or anything that would indicate a bird or something of interest, or we can program the mission to the drone so that it flies over that area and captures in thermal and a normal image of the search area. So obviously the focus is to search for merlin, to detect merlin, but through the survey we're picking up a range of other species, both birds and mammals. We've detected a grey heron nesting, and you can see with the zoom it's possible to gather information such as the clutch size. Also other species such as hooded crow, and they're very important from a merlin perspective because merlin typically use old hooded crow nests, so the presence of hooded crow is important and can be an indicator of merlin. Other corvids such as raven, also pheasant, and even birds as small as chaffinch. And this shows the capabilities of the thermal sensor, that we can detect these birds and even small birds, often from quite a distance away. And it's obviously a really important factor to ensure that there's no disturbance, that we're not disturbing birds. And you can see that's the case when there's no change of behaviour. And mostly the flights of the drone are 50 metres or above the area that we're actually searching. Also, we're picking up quite a few species of mammal with the thermal sensor. So fox, and it's really reassuring to see in situations that the animal's behaviour isn't changed, and often in the case they're not aware of the drone, that we're actually observing them, and that's obviously what you want from a survey perspective. Also deer, and they give off a very obviously large body to give off a very obvious heat signal, which is very easy to detect with the thermal sensor, and can pick up deer from over 1.5 kilometres away. And also hare. So the drone with thermal sensor has worked really well to help detect Merlin. And we've located nests in some challenging situations where the nests are concealed from above, but you can see that it is possible to detect the heat signal from the nest. And sometimes that can be quite subtle, and it depends on the temperature and the surroundings. But in other cases, it's much more obvious. But with a bit of practice, it is possible to identify the heat signal, and then obviously to zoom in and to determine what species it is. So really exciting when we are able to locate Merlin nests using the drone with thermal sensing. So obviously this can really help both in terms of accuracy of locating nests, but also in terms of efficiency.